Hello everybody and welcome back to Gertruida's Adventures podcast. I'm your host, Gertruida. I have recorded this entire video and then realized that my mic ran out of power like 4 minutes in. So yeah, this is a semi-re-recording. I hope I'm going to remember everything that I wanted to talk about. But yeah, so this is also why no mic sound might be different than what you're used to. I apologize. But anyway, so what this video will be about is my Advent plans for December, what I'm going to be doing, as well as which Advents I am getting, even though none of them have arrived other than the Naughty Habit one, which is perfectly fine because all of them are 12-day Advents or Advents that should start from the first Sunday of December, so there's still a week time left to receive them in. A week or two, because if you do the 12-day Advent, you have to start on the 14th in order to end on the 25th. So yeah, cool. So I have gotten this really cute calendar from the Amigurumi Advent that I'm participating in. So that's the one where I spoke about last week with a tree, and you're making a little amigurumi every day. It's starting tomorrow and I'm so excited. In this calendar I've marked that I need to start the 12-day Advent on the 13th, but then I've since learned that most of the Advents, when I was refreshing my memory of what they put together, most of the Advents will be proper 12-day, where your 12th day is your Christmas opening one. So it would be either the full skein or a special type of thing, where it won't be like 12 days plus a full skein. So in other words, 11 days plus a full skein, or just straight 12 days. So which Advents did I end up buying? These are noted in my bigger notebook. Okay, so from Stripey, she had 2 this year, and I got both. So I got the 12 days one. So the 12 days one will be 11 20-gram minis, and then a full skein for Christmas Day. You could get a project bag extra if you wanted to. I did. And you could choose your base as well, which is something that I really appreciate about her Advent calendars. It's really smart. And yeah, so that will happen. Then the 4 Sundays one, you open one every Sunday, so the last one will be opened on the 28th, which is the 4th Sunday in December. Then I also got her New Year surprise, which I'm always very excited about. It's always gorgeous. So I'll be opening Stripey yarn for the whole month, pretty much. Then I also got the Lily Rose Dye Works Advent, which is one that was sold by Nurturing Fibers. So this one has quite an interesting content because it is 50% merino, 20% polyamide, 15% silk, and 15% kid mohair. So I believe this is a similar composition to what African Expression Soul is, which, yeah, I'm quite interested to see. But I've also found some other yarns that had kid mohair in it that was a little bit more fluffy. So yeah, we'll see what will arrive. So this one is 12 20-gram minis with 12 surprises. It's all packed in a gnome themed box with little doors and things. And there's also one gnome figure that you can paint or decorate however you wish. So that's super fun. Then the Black Cat Dye Works one. So this one has the Mythical Muse theme. It's also a 12-day one. It would have 12 25-gram minis, which is interesting because then you'll end up with 300 grams over the period of yarn, 12 stitch markers, and then you had the option to add additional skeins in semi-solids. So I got one in navy and one in violet, so that's super fun. This one, disclaimer, might be a little bit different than what most people's one would be on the internet or the rest of them. Because I did a trade with Janine, which is also why I'm not talking about any projects in this video, because the trade is I made her a project bag, and she, knowing what goes into the Advent, would bulk up some, not bulk up others, and then pad it a little bit with extra things so that there's extra bitties in the Advent as a trade for the bag. So it's kind of like our Christmas gifts to each other. But yeah, super fun times. I'm very excited for it. It is going to be very different, and I'm also really excited to show you guys the bag, but I'm not going to, because Janine watches my podcast religiously and I'm not spoiling anything. But it turned out gorgeous. I just finished it, and guys, it's gonna be so hard to let this bag go. It's the most beautiful one I've ever made, but that is what happens when you make things with love, I guess. But yeah, I will be sharing photos when she receives it and opens it, and we can take it from there. Cool. Then I did also spoil myself, as I do every year, with a Woolees Christmas themed bag. This year it would be a pink one. That is also still coming, but that one doesn't come with a Advent kind of thing. It does come with extra boppies and boppies, but it's not an Advent kind of thing, so there's still time to receive that as well, because that's more like a Christmas bag than what it is in Advent. Then my only 24-day Advent is the Naughty Habit Stripey Advent, which is on a queso base, and I received it yesterday. And guys, let me tell you, it is incredible. So before we talk about the baggie and what's in it, let's talk about the extras. So I have given the foot soak to AJ already, so imagine you've seen a foot soak come out of this little baggie. Because it's very nice, but I'm not a soaky type of person, and AJ is, so sharing is caring, right? It comes with cookies from Blue Spoons. It's ginger cookies this time around, very on brand and clean. It comes with a personalized note from Mrs. Naughty, as always. Then also a stitch marker this way around from Pincushion Crafts. It's a beautiful colorful sock, so everyone's will be different, which is fun. And then also this yarn divider. So this yarn divider is extremely helpful if you're doing color work, because it prevents your yarns from knotting. But because of the design of this bag, I wouldn't use it when making these socks, even though it'll be 2 at a time socks that I'm planning to make, because the bag already divides it incredibly smartly. So yeah, that's my 2 cents on the matter. I do like that. I'm happy I have a second one, and I will be using it. So let's talk about this. So what is in this little baggie is basically sock yarn. It's queso, but it is 100 grams that has been already split into 2 50-gram balls, as well as a 30-gram mini additional to it. So the 30-gram is a little bit more than what you typically have when you have a mini. Usually it's, I think, 20 or 25 grams, I can't remember. I can actually check. Privilege of sitting in front of my stash. 25 grams. Okay, so usually it's 25, this one is 30. But this Advent is a little bit different than what it was last year. So last year you would use your color, you'll let it come out, you'll knit it up, and then when the color changes, that's the next day's color, and you stop at that point. And then tomorrow you'll continue to knit, and so it goes. But now the challenge with that is that you'll know today what tomorrow's color would be. So it's a bit of a surprise spoil, potentially. So this year, what Nancy did, which is so smart, is that you would be knitting with your color until you see a color change, and then you can choose to finish your row. You can choose what you want to do at that point. but that color change is a divider color. So I believe that it would be a more neutrally kind of color, that will be in between all of the color stripes, which is part of the Advent color changes. But the nice thing is that dividing color will be the same for each day, so you would end up with thicker stripes for your Advent color stripe and then thinner for the dividing color stripes, and you won't be spoiling yourself for the next day. So that's really smart. But overall, this little baggie is incredibly smart start to finish. So it means you have explained to me how they do it, sort of in a very high level thing, because obviously it's industry secrets and that kind of thing. And I listened to it and I was just, I was blown away. It is incredibly smart. It is a wonder of engineering, and I do understand that Uncle Louis is also involved with working out the mathematics of this, working out the mechanics of this, and getting it to actually work the way that it's supposed to work, because it is, this yarn is an engineering feat. Like, honestly, this is the bridges of yarn. But yeah, really excited to be using it. I'm going to be making socks, because when I heard about the dividing stripes, I realized that if I were to make something that have a changing circumference, it then won't be a situation of like slowly getting thinner stripes or something like that, but rather that you would end up with potentially colors touching each other, not having the dividing stripe as intended. So I decided to have socks with this. I'm going to make one pair of socks, and then I'll see how it works up and decide whether I want to make another pair of socks or something else, because I've heard rumors that it is possible to make up to 3 pairs of shorties with this set, plus a little bit of extra. So yeah, that's quite appealing to me, but I'm not sure whether I would maybe make a set of full socks and a set of shorties or something like that. I don't know. I luckily do have a whole bunch of minis that I can supplement this with, if I run out of yarn on the second pair or the third pair, wherever it ends up being. But yeah, that's very exciting. So now the big question, what will I be working on during this December? Because I'll be making weekly videos, so I would have a project that you guys would be able to see grow week by week as I go through this period. So yeah, I thought I would be using minis as I do traditionally every year. So I did preemptively start something just to check whether it would work. It is the Base Camp Shrug by Sosu Knits. So this is the quote-unquote right side, but they're equally beautiful. I can't pick a right side. It's just the right side because this is the side where the increases sit. So this is the right side and this is the wrong side. But there you can see how the mini moves through it. So I used the, as I very affectionately called it, my favorite one, the custard and raspberry sauce mini. So yeah, it is stunning. I love working on this. I would probably be knitting on this ever so often in between this period, if I maybe just want to take a break from what I am going to making. So I was also yesterday at the yarn room and I bought 2 sets of yarn from Woolees. They are gorgeous. So the hybrid knitting knit along this year is called Icelandscape or Icelandscape or something like that. But it is this gorgeous shawl that goes through a whole bunch of different stitch patterns, including a stunning scalloped kind of situation. But its striking features is that it has a gradient that happens through the colors because it uses 8 colors. Because Stephen West have launched new yarn that's 50 gram weight instead of 100 gram weight, so it makes it a bit more viable. But I did find 2 fade sets that complement each other wonderfully. So they are from Woolees. Let me just do the hand gymnastics to show you guys. So the first set is these roses. So it goes from like a very light green with like pink speckles into more, and then ends with a semi-solid, I wouldn't say it's like a pinkish red, but it's more pink than red, but on the camera it does look quite red. But yeah, so it's these four. And then the other fade set is, let me just do the gymnastics again. There we go. Is these four. So they go from a light green into a darker green. So if I quickly just do extreme hand gymnastics here, you guys can see how the color progression goes, right? Oh, isn't it stunning? It's so pretty. So I love it. But the colors go this way and then it will cycle again this way. And then when I saw that, I realized that if I do my gradient this way rather than this way, you would still have this effect, but then the change in pattern will fall where this change happens. And then you would have the, I can do it, I'm sure of it, yes. You would have the darker colors falling in the middle of the section where it's the same kind of stitches, and that would cause a really interesting visual effect. I think if I'm looking at all of these example shawls, there's some of them that do that and it's super fun. So yeah, that is going to be my Christmas project, because I mean, look at these colors. Aren't they so Christmassy? Very Christmassy. So I was thinking of maybe like doing them not in a fade, but like demi-card. But then I realized that if you do that, then the greens really take over and you lose all of your pinks. And yeah, so I'm definitely going to be doing it in a gradient. And the fun thing is, because I have effectively 800 grams of yarn here and not 400 grams as what the pattern calls for, it does give me quite a bit of freedom, because I could potentially decide to swap my colors so that it always goes in a fade if I wanted to. So I could start with pinks, go all the way through to the dark greens, and then instead of starting with pinks again, flip them so that I start with greens next and like cycle through like that. I could do that, but I don't think I would, because I do like the contrast quite a bit, and I like the way that the pink and the green plays off of each other with these particular colors. Like, oh, they're so lush. So yeah, I'm probably going to be winding up this yarn now and starting this, because I have finished the project bag. The project bag was the only sort of obligation have to finish type of project that was on my plate right now. I do still need to finish the quilt that I'm making for AJ's baby. I started it and I don't think I've shown you guys, so I do have a very nice picture of me standing with it, so I'll put up a picture of it so that you guys can see what it will look like. It's gorgeous, stunning. I'm about halfway through the top now, so I need to do the other half and then do the actual quilting part. But yeah, I do still have time for that because baby only comes in March, and I'm sure I'm gonna have quite a bit of free time when it comes to leave, so that's very exciting. Yeah, that is my Advent slash Vlogmas slash upcoming month plans. I am very excited to sit down and knit for a while because I've been sewing for a while. When you guys see the back, you will understand why it was a while. Like, oh, it's so gorgeous. I'm hoping that you guys are excited to see it. I'm excited to show it. I'm so sad I can't show it, but it's so stunning. I love it. Okay, cool. That is it for this video, I believe. And yeah, thank you for joining, and tomorrow is the 1st of December. I hope that all of you guys are extremely excited and that all of you guys have your advent calendars and are ready. And it's going to be a fun time, isn't it? I look forward to it. If any of you got the Aldert Yarns box, please spam me with pictures, because it intrigued me, but I was a bit like, different kinds of yarn, can't use them together then? I don't know, but I do want to see what it looks like. So if you got it, please send it to me when you open it. Like, just put me a DM or something. It was super fun to hang out with you, and thank you for coming to listen to me, and I hope that you have a wonderful day further. Bye.